Okay. All right. Welcome everyone to the Premier Destiny Q&A live session. It's Paul and Joan, as usual, and we're excited that you're able to join us today. We have a very interesting question and some great solutions, ideas, strategies to help you. Um, Again, like I said, we're from Premier Destiny, and we are transformation experts. We help individuals, business owners go from where they currently are to where they would love to be. How about that? Because we believe the universe is abundant and everyone deserves and can be successful and prosperous. So we have a question from Caroline. She's from the beautiful state of Arizona, Phoenix to be specific. And her question is, I have a busy life. I also have big dreams. How can I stay on track without getting overwhelmed? I think many of us can relate to Caroline's question today. We have busy lives, we have big dreams, and sometimes things get chaotic and we can fall into that trap of being overwhelmed. So I'm so excited, Caroline, that you sent in this very powerful question, and we're going to take some time here today to answer your question. But before we go into that, I really want to commend you, Caroline, for having big dreams. See, many of us, or I don't want to say many of us, because we don't, many people tend to limit themselves by not having big dreams. They think small. Guess what? The universe is abundant. All the resources are there for you. Don't think small, think big, dream big. So, way to go, Caroline. You got it going for yourself, right? So, I was really tempted to say we all have a busy life and big dreams, but that's not really the case, right? Some people don't. But for those who are busy, they have a lot going on, at the same time have big dreams to accomplish. How do they stay on track? How do they stay focused without getting overwhelmed? That is the question. So, Paul and I are going to be sharing with you all some strategies, some tips to help you get started today. I mean, practical tips that you can implement, strategies that they're easy to implement to get started today so you can achieve that dream. You can realize your goals. All right. These strategies that we're sharing with you are meant to help you remain focused and in balance to avoid burnout, so to say. Okay, so don't just be a busybody, don't just be a busy bee. Ask yourself, take some time to reflect, do some self reflection. What are you busy doing? Ask yourself that question. Are you doing things that are taking you one step closer to your goal? Or are you just being a busybody? I think you need to start from there, Caroline. All right. Or are you doing goals or you're doing projects, tasks, daily tasks that are getting you one step closer to those big dreams? Right. So Paul and I are very excited to answer this question, and I'm going to turn over to Paul to get us started, and then I will jump back in. All right. So over to you, Paul.
Thank you, John. Thank you. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening to our audience. And thank you for joining us today. We're delighted to really be answering Caroline's question today. Uh, it's a good one. It's a really good one. I mean, like John said, we're all busy, right? Folks have big plans, big dreams and goals, and they're looking at how to make it happen. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it can really get challenging sometimes. Um, and so it's important. So, but like John talked about, you want to get away from planning to plan, right? You want to start implementing. You don't want to keep planning and planning and plan some more. But
Mm.
how do you bring all that, whatever good dreams and goals you have to fruition? How do you do that? The first way, I believe, we believe you want to start doing this, you want to start writing down your dreams with as much clarity as you can. Okay, specificity is extremely important. Be specific. Take the time to break down whatever those dreams and goals are. Okay, I mean, you want to definitely do that. This step is often overlooked, but if you cannot get down on paper, how are you going to even remember what you have? How are you going to be able to follow through? So it's important. Sit down and break it right down. you know Basically everything that the dreams and goals that you're after. That's important. Okay. Once you've written it down, you can break them down into smaller, manageable tasks.
Mhm.
Because achieving your goals doesn't have to be overwhelming. We've developed a framework really that can help serve you, can help show you how to bring those dreams and goals that you have into reality. We have a framework for that, and we're going to share that with you at some other point. If you need help, certainly reach out to us. John, do you want to speak to this whole aspect of
Yeah,
breaking down tasks?
absolutely, absolutely. I love this, and the system Paul is talking about is very comprehensive. So we're not going to go into all of that today. Excuse me. But I want to give you an example, a practical example of myself writing my book, Money Locates You. And I'm going to ask you to check it out on Amazon if you haven't done so already. So when I engaged on this project, which was at the time really overwhelming because it was smack in the middle of COVID, running several businesses and writing a book, publishing a book for the first time, right? So that could have been really overwhelming. But I sat down, wrote down my goal, my desires, and I broke them down into manageable tasks. So I said to myself, okay, this week I'm going to do the intro. That's it. Okay. Wake up early in the morning and just type a few words, maybe a page or 500 words. And that was it. And it didn't seem so overwhelming because just the thought of, okay, where do I start? How do I get a publisher? How do I get an editor? How am I going to market this? It could really be overwhelming. But when I took the time to write down that goal to have an international bestseller and next to come, it's a New York Times bestseller book, right? I wrote my dream down and then I broke down the tasks that I had to do. So it made it much easier and I was able to realize that dream, as a matter of fact, within 3 days of publishing my book, it became an international bestseller. So I just wanted to plug that in to give you a practical example of how this comes in really handy to avoid overwhelm. Okay.
Good,
So back to
good
you,
point.
Paul.
Good point, Joan. The second thing you want to do is prioritize your tasks, okay, and focus on one thing at a time. When we talk about prioritizing, might want to go from the most important thing you have to do to the least important in that order, right? I mean, because things that are gonna get you closer to whatever dream or goal you're going after. So prioritize from most important to least important and focus on one thing at a time.
Mhm.
It's key. It is key. Stretch yourself. That's another thing you want to put in there. Learn to stretch yourself. Give yourself, just stretch and try to achieve whatever you have on there. Within the time you have. It's really important. You might also want to use some tools.
Mhm.
Technology and tools of that nature can certainly help you organize. You want to stay organized in this process as well. Technology tools like planners, right?
Mhm.
There's some, you can use the phone systems now are so advanced that you can use them to help keep you on task. That's something you use as well.
Mhm.
The another strategy you might want to use is take regular breaks to avoid burnout. It's a practice I love to do. I just love it. I don't like to I don't like to stay working on a task for hours and hours. I don't like to do that. So you might want to consider 30, 60, or 90 minutes sprints. Okay, where you set yourself 30 minutes or 60 minutes. Say, I'm going to focus on this for the next 60 minutes. You might want to put your phone on airplane mode. And
Mhm.
for the next 60 minutes or 30 minutes or 60 minutes, you focus just on this one task. All right. After that, you might want to take a break for 10, 15 minutes and come back and do it again. I mean, think about how much power that gives you, folks. Think about how much power that gives you. Think about how much you can accomplish during that period of time. That's important. You also want another strategy to implement is to set realistic deadlines and be flexible with yourself. All right.
Mhm.
It's important. Like Joan talked about her book, you set a game plan, you set timelines. I'm gonna achieve this, I'm gonna write this chapter within this period of time. And then you immerse yourself in the process of getting it done during that time. And again, if you don't get that, but you don't get it done within a time frame, don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up. Be flexible. Give yourself time to get there. Some extra time to do it. It's important because you only have one body, right? That we all have to work with. So it's important to give ourselves the time to get it done. That's important.
Yeah.
The another strategy that I think Jordan will talk about this, So you want to speak about this next strategy?
Yeah, let's see. So this is a good one. You want to create a support system. This is so key because sometimes people think, oh, I can do it. This is my dream. This is my goal. This is my project. I can do it solo. But research has shown that going it alone is going to be, it's going to take you more time. We're not saying you couldn't, you could, but it's going to take you more time. And as a matter of fact, you may feel overwhelmed and then forget about it completely. Right. That is why it's very important to to create a support system. People of like-minded people, people who are maybe going after the same kind of goals, maybe not specifically exactly the same, but broadly speaking, they are going towards the same or they have the same aspirations as you. They will be there to provide encouragement on those days when you feel like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I'm just going to throw in the towel. They could say, hey, buddy, they'll give you a word of encouragement, and they'll also serve as your accountability partner.
Mhm.
Your accountability partner is not there to shout at you or discipline you to some extent, right?
Or
Or
criticize you.
criticize you. They're just there to help you keep yourself accountable. If you say you're going to write a chapter a week, hey, at some
Did
point,
you do it?
exactly, they're going to meet up with you or you meet up with them and say, "Hey, okay, I got this done. I didn't get this done because of this," right? That helps a whole lot. But I want to this. It's great to have a support system, a great one for that matter. But also, don't fall into the trap of comparing yourself with others. Okay. So while they are there to support you, you are there to support them as well. You may be looking at some of them who are, achieving their goals, maybe similar goals like you have, and you haven't achieved yours yet. And you start feeling, oh my goodness, what's going on? Right? You start comparing yourself with others. Don't do that because you start losing that enthusiasm, that motivation to go on. And how do you do that? You do that by the next strategy, implementing the next strategy, which is celebrating yourself, celebrating your accomplishments, every little step, every progress that you make towards that goal. Celebrate it. We believe in that a lot. Sometimes it's going to our favorite restaurant. Sometimes if it's a big goal accomplished, maybe going on a cruise or something like that. Hey, it doesn't have to be that. You could go to a coffee shop and just sit there and relax or take a day off. Treat yourself. Like Paul said earlier, don't beat yourself when you didn't hit that goal. All right. Learn from the mistakes or the challenges that came up that day and then try to do better. Okay.
In fact, I may want to say that look at every situation as a learning moment. What lessons have you
Absolutely.
learned from every situation? Whether it turns out for good or turns out for bad. What or not well for bad is kind of a big word, right?
Yeah.
Well, if it turns out not what you expected, what did you learn from it? Because every experience gives us something to learn from to benefit from.
Absolutely, because there's something to be said about achieving your goals, right? Or that realizing that dream. It's really not the goal achieved, right? Or the dream realized, but it's who you become in the process.
Yeah,
So learn to enjoy the journey.
absolutely.
Learn to enjoy the process of goal achievement.
Yeah,
Do not beat yourself up. There's a lesson to be learned at every stage, with every turning, with every curve, right? There's a lesson to be learned,
every challenge.
every challenge for that matter. So the next strategy is to practice mindfulness. If you start feeling like, oh my goodness, I can't deal with this anymore, try to practice mindfulness, like stress management techniques such as meditation or visualization is a good one. As a matter of fact, when Paul started, he said, write down your desire, write down your dream, as clearly as you can, with as much clarity as possible. That's going to help you with visualization. Visualization is when you just find yourself in a quiet space and you just imagine that dream being realized. Imagine your goals being achieved. Maybe it's in your dream home. Picture yourself in your dream home enjoying coffee or just I don't know what it is, but
Having a good time.
having a good time, right? Visualization can also help you practice mindfulness and reduce stress. Some people do yoga as their daily routine. Whatever works for you. Some people listen to music,
Exercise.
exercise, they
Yeah.
go out for a walk. So practice mindfulness. It's going to help you stay grounded. It's going to help you maintain a positive outlook and help you keep moving, keep taking one step, putting one step in front of the other. Okay, so
And like you said, the important thing, folks, like John is saying, is that we should also remember that this is it's a process, folks, right? It's a journey. They call it. Success is a journey, right? I mean, it's and we just have to learn to enjoy the process.
absolutely.
There's going to be ups and downs, but at the end of the day, if we enjoy it, we feel good about it, it's going to work out for good for us.
Yeah. Okay, Paul, do you want to wrap it up for us?
Yes, I think I have. I mean, in conclusion, I want to just say that staying on track with your goals while leading a busy life is not only possible, it's doable,
Yes.
right? I mean, it is very doable. If you follow the techniques that John and I have shared with you, strategies we share with you today, Caroline, it can certainly help you. It can certainly help you. Again, if you need more guidance on this, just reach out to us. You can reach out to us on our website, premierdestiny.com. Or you can send us an email at support@premierdestiny.com. Again,
Mhm.
thank you all so much for joining us today. We hope you picked up a couple of techniques here that can help you make it a productive and a successful day.
Absolutely. Keep dreaming big, right? Life is abundant, so go for it.
Absolutely.
All right. So until next time, life is good. Make the best of it. Bye
Absolutely.
bye.
Bye for now.
Bye.